best budget phone out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search now on Flipkart.
For the 13th time in all men's competitions across formats, for the 6th time in a men's competition featuring 5 or more teams, for the first time since the 2017 Champions Trophy, and for the first time in the 41-year history of the Men's Asia Cup, it is India versus Pakistan in the final. Welcome to CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout. It's time to set up the stage for the Sunday showdown to decide the Asian crown. And we've got in our studio, Varun Aaron, Akash Chopra. Gentlemen, 3 Sundays running, India and Pakistan meet. It's been more than a decade since they saw each other thrice in such a quick period. It's been a lot of surround sound. The first of these 3 Sundays feels a long time ago, more so because of the events that have happened around the games. No handshakes, no press conferences attended, some comments made from either side.
Some gestures.
Yeah.
Some gestures on both sides. So there's a lot of non-cricket drama around this.
There has been, yes. First to begin with, I think broadcasters' delight. Because Asia Cup was always designed in a fashion that Pakistan and India could play each other as many times as possible. But it always was the case that they were like one short of that, because either India or Pakistan would crash out in the league stage and they will never reach the finals. But 2025 seems to be the year of firsts. A lot of new things have happened therefore this final also. But see, there has been a lot of surround sound, there is no doubt, but I would say temperature has come down a little from the first game from an Indian standpoint. I think the first game for India was a big one, because it was at the highest, that surround sound that you're talking about. It was had peaked already, and post that there is some amount of, because India won first time, India won the second time, and suddenly there is a little more I mean, I won't use the word that's coming to my mind, but people are now okay with India playing Pakistan, because there was a time when people were not okay only. But now you're in the finals. Now the only thing will be, people will not be okay that you have won 2 and you lose 1. So that has now become a bit of a challenge for Team India.
Yeah, no one's going to accept a 2-1 bilateral series scoreline in this one, at least on this side of the fence. But when Akash talks about the temperature and perhaps even the spice, has it been raised by the comments of the Indian captain after the last game, where he said what to him is a fact, that this is no longer a rivalry?
He actually stated a fact. If you go to see what Surya said, it wasn't too far away from the fact. But at the end of the day, Pakistan would take that and fuel up themselves with that. That would be obviously fuel to the fire which has already been burning. And I feel Pakistan have a huge point to prove in the finals, not just to themselves, but to their fans, to the people back home, because they have been losing to India far too many times. And from an outsider's perspective, what I would really hope for is a great game of cricket, an old India-Pakistan crunch game where actually both teams play like it's a crunch game.
Why I ask that is because fact would also exist for India-Bangladesh, which reads 16-1 before they met this time, now 17-1. But those are statements we don't often see from any camp.
True, you don't, but I mean, we are living in a very different world now, slightly modern world with people perhaps a bit more vocal. And people who are also reacting a lot more as well as compared to what happened in the past. So Surya was asked a question, like Varun is saying, of course he stated a fact. People in the past may have been more diplomatic about it and would skirt the issue and just go away somewhere else and not really address the question, but Surya chose to address. I mean, these are the times that we are living in, and it's absolutely okay. And yes, it will fuel the fire, something that Varun also mentioned and Shaheen also mentioned, that we don't care. I mean, let's see if we reach the finals. That was before the game against Bangladesh. If we reach the finals, we'll see who's better and what kind of rivalry we are talking about. So from that standpoint, the stakes are really high. One thing that I'm 100% certain of is that gestures will not be there anymore. Both teams have been called up by the ICC match referees and all that. So those things won't be there. Yes, they will be at each other in their each other's faces, but gestures is something that we will not see in the finals.
All right. I promise you that is the last of the surround sound. Now we focus on the events on the ground. And the two captains are a story in themselves. While they might not shake hands. They do share similar fortunes with the bat. Both are looking for that one knock of real note. Longer struggles for Salman Agha in the format, but even Suryakumar Yadav will want to prove a point with the bat as well.
Absolutely. I'm the other common thing is I don't think the wicket is suiting Salman Agha at the Dubai Stadium and Suryakumar Yadav. We've obviously had a lot of chats even during IPL that Surya doesn't struggle, but his numbers on slower wickets are not as good as his numbers on fast wickets, and his numbers against bowlers who bowl a lot of slowers again are not as good as the faster bowlers. Suryakumar Yadav, the way he sets up and the way he constructs his game is around the ball coming onto him, so he can use his wrist behind the wicket. He can carve you through the offside, and the moment he starts hitting you behind the wicket, as a bowler you almost get sucked into his plans, and then he dictates what you're doing. But he's just not able to dictate. He tried doing what he does best against Harris Roth the other night, got hauled out in the deep deep third man, trying to play one of his trademark shots. So I just think he should change his tactics a little bit, because he is a player who can play really well down the ground as well. He should maybe switch it around, go straight down the ground and then go behind himself.
Right, so that is for the Indian captain as far as his own game goes. But what about tactics for his team? Of course, India come into this as overwhelming favourites, but what are the pitfalls India need to guard against in this final?
First, catch better. Because if you've dropped a dozen catches in the tournament, it does not look good. And yes, it's cliche, catches win matches. India has still won everything after dropping catches, so it seems like a futile thing that people used to say. But come the finals, that's one thing that you want to rectify. You don't want to drop too many catches. That's one. And secondly, stop toying with your batting order as much as you have already done. So just stick to an order that's making sense. I'm sure it's making sense for them when they send Dubey at 3 and Samson at 8, or Surya doesn't bat. I mean, not all must make sense to people who are taking those decisions. But in the end, you really want Surya at 3, Tilak at 4, Hardik at 5, and then just go on from there, because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you say, ouch, we got this wrong. If you are going to get it wrong, at least do it the right way.
You'd expect the experimental nature or the slight foot off the pedal mode, which they've had the luxury to play with in certain games. You expect that to be shunned for a tournament final?
I don't think India's got their foot off the pedal. Yes, they've tried different combinations. They felt that, okay, this batsman could be the better option at this part of the game. But at the end of the day, India should beware of complacency. And it's not that any player wants to be complacent. The fact is that if you're not challenged more often than not, you do get into a comfort zone. You do feel that, okay, you know what, even if I'm 70%, I can beat a team. But come finals day, it really doesn't matter what's happened in the past. A final is a final.
Alright, let's talk key contests. And the way this tournament has gone, Abhishek Sharma versus Shaheen Shah Afridi feels like a real decisive phase of this game. Yes, Abhishek has dominated Shaheen in the 2 games India and Pakistan have played, but Shaheen, after that last India game, has been a much improved bowler.
And he's picked up wickets, so the tail is up. And Abhishek Sharma is going to once again try and dominate that contest with the bat, of course. But it might not be as simple. See, Abhishek Sharma, it is his first final. I mean, he may have played an IPL final.
So that is where it's interesting, because the only other senior final Abhishek Sharma has played was IPL 2024.
Yeah.
First over, Mitchell Starc got him.
I know, yeah. So he's not, playing a final is a very different experience. And that too at the Asia Cup level, it is his first multi-nation tournament for the country. He's done exceedingly well, there is no doubt about it, but he's not going to shun his natural attacking approach, because that's what has got him so much of success. So it's a good battle. I do expect Abhishek Sharma to be still the same aggressive Abhishek Sharma. It remains to be seen how Shaheen is actually building from the confidence that he's got in the last 2 games, because if there is a bit of swing, he's a different bowler. If he's not taken down initially, he's a different bowler. But what if Abhishek actually wins that first little contest, and then what Shaheen does? I mean, there will be all eyes on it, because it could be a very deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, 31 of 14 balls is Abhishek versus Shaheen so far in this Asia Cup, the 2 times they've met. But the one thing that has changed since those 2 games is that in the last few games in Dubai, we have for the first time seen early assistance for the seamers.
Absolutely. The temperatures come down. Waqar Yunus was saying in the pitch report just the previous night that the temperatures come down. They've actually left a slight layer of grass on the wicket. Obviously not green grass, but at least dead grass, which keeps the binding going in the wicket, because we've seen the previous or the start of the tournament being really slow, and you don't want to be playing T20 games on wickets which are that slow. You want some pace, you want the batsmen to be in the game, and also the fast bowlers to be in the game. So with the temperature coming down, the moisture levels going up, and a little grass on the wicket, depth is definitely going to help fast bowlers. We saw how much of assistance Bumrah and Hardik Pandya got the other night. So it's going to be even Stevens for both teams. It's not like only Shaheen Shah Afridi is going to get assistance. Bumrah is also going to be massively in the game.
The one thing that hasn't happened to India, at least till the time they secured their passage into the final, which was 1 game before, with 1 game left to play in the Super Fours, is them facing a scenario where Abhishek falls early.
Yep.
He has 30 plus in every game. So if that happens, that new scenario presents itself to India, how do you see them tackling it?
Well, that is a possibility, and yes, it hasn't happened in the Asia Cup, but it has happened in the past. And when Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson were opening, this is pretty much the same outfit. There's only one guy who's come in and started opening. That's Shubman Gill, who actually adds solidity to the batting order right at the top. And Sanju has gone down. So other than that, the batting is exactly the same that used to play earlier with Abhishek not firing in every single game. So it won't be a scenario that they have not experienced before. Of course, it puts a bit more responsibility on the middle order, out of which, like, of all the middle order batters haven't really fired. For example, Surya hasn't had a great time yet. Yeah. So you expect them to now take the responsibility a bit more, and it can happen. See, T20 game, you are opening with a guy who's going at the rate of knots from get-go. There will be days when he gets out.
All right, that's the setup done. This is not a game where I really ask for predictions. So, Varun Aaron, thank you for your time. These fine men will be back with us to set up the final. So, just ahead of toss time on Sunday, be sure to join us. India versus Pakistan. All the build-up on CMF by Nothing presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
Best budget phone out this year.
CMF Phone 2 Pro. Search now on Flipkart.